That's getting back up there from its steep fall of 212. What's your
Yeah, I mean, I know I was on Airbnb looking for a campsite or a cottage for the long weekend coming up, and the platform looks completely different. They've overhauled it, good UX. They kind of overhauled the actual layout of the app, so it looks a lot cleaner. They've announced they have over I think 100 new partnerships with different companies and businesses and stuff around the world. So interesting to see where that plays out. But yeah, I mean, it's not up a lot. Looking at the past, month, it's up
month?
2.3%. Last 6 months, up 5%. But I'm in this for the long haul. Airbnb, I think by end of the year, in the next 6 months, I can see it going up, up to 20, 25%.
Really, 25%? That would put it at, let's see, 180. So $40 more on this stock
I
from
mean,
this point
honestly,
on.
like people are skeptical of going to big resorts and big hotel chains. They want something a little bit more private, a little bit more customizable to their liking. So I can see Airbnb overtaking those big hotel companies like we talked about on the last episode. So like the Hiltons and the Ramadas and stuff like that. I can see Airbnb being that next like big dog that people want to kind of go to on their vacations.
Okay, fair enough. Ace, what's your opinion on Airbnb?
Yeah, totally agree. I have the shares at like 180. So I wanted to buy the dip, but I need to hold off a little bit. But I'm going to buy more into this actually. And I have both cash secured puts, a lot of them, and and I actually do have calls on it too. So I'm really, really bullish on Airbnb. I do think I actually have the same thing as Senior Hefe. I was looking up lodges. I was looking up, maybe cabins or something like that. And I do see a one external risk, which is the competition coming in. There's a few of them, but they haven't become household names. But there's a few of them coming in already. I saw one. I mean, in Canada, so I saw a Quebec Airbnb that was like purely for Quebec, and I was like, what is this? And then the one that you mentioned, Bob, which is like, I can't see. Here's the thing. Without a good name, they're not going to go anywhere. But it was like verbal or something. I forget what it was.
VRBO. So let's just move on to that one. It's owned by Expedia, VRBO. So VRBO is the Airbnb type. Expedia owns it. So you know how Expedia, in the past you'd book your flights and stuff through them. So now they have I don't know what you call it, but they own a VRBO. It's a subsidiary, right? So they own a bunch of things too.
Mm-hmm.
They were out shopping during the pandemic and they bought out a bunch of fledgling companies as well. So they are a heavy contender in the space. And they have also, let's see, since January have gone up 38%.
Wow.
Expedia itself, that's a lot. And it looks like they are at a market cap of 25 billion, putting up a fight against Airbnb. So what's your opinion on that, Hefe? Let's go to you and then go to Ace on the competition with the Airbnb. I mean, things are opening up again. People are possibly booking flights. What's your take?
Yeah, so Vrbo was acquired by HomeAway. So I'm not sure if you guys are familiar with HomeAway, but they were kind of like the OGs of kind of the home rental space. I think they were big before Airbnb. Airbnb was like the sexier option at the time, but HomeAway was more like kind of cottages. It kind of more of a simplistic layout website. I don't think there was an app for it, not that I saw, but I used it in the past, 5-6 years ago. But then they were bought out by Expedia, and then obviously Expedia started Vrbo. So it's still new to me. I don't know a lot about Vrbo. I mean, obviously it's very similar to Airbnb, but it will be interesting to see how the two battle it out. Like I said, there's a massive market for these home rental vacation getaway opportunities. So I think there's room for both to succeed, but I think Airbnb, people are more familiar with it. Expedia is kind of like that big company, they own everything. They own a lot of it. They're everywhere kind of thing. So, I mean, people might want to veer towards Airbnb because they specialize in kind of home getaways. Yeah. But no, we'll see. We'll see where it takes us.
Yeah. Ace, did you ever try the app VRBO?
I did. It's pretty good looking, I gotta say. The only thing that I would say on top of that is just, I don't know, man. Airbnb is a household name now. It's hard to beat. The thing is with Expedia though, they could couple some of the options they already have. So like I already have points with Expedia. I might actually use that on Vrbo if they offer that. And I'm sure that they do. So you know what? They could combine, their previous assets and and technologies with this one. So it's possible. I really do think they need some rebranding, though. I'm never going to use an app called Verbo. Like, no,
it sounds like a pet app for some reason. It sounds like something to do with pets. Verbo, like maybe like gerbil. It sounds similar.
Verbo. Hey, they don't want to use Verbo. Like, if you don't have the name consistent across people, like everyone says Airbnb, it's a household name, right?
Yeah, it's like I'm going to Google something. It's like I want to go to Airbnb. It's synonymous now with home getaways.
I like that idea about using the points because I had a lot of points in the past with Expedia. I didn't know what to do with them, but if I knew I could book places with them, that could be a thing. And the stock has been consistent. Let me just pull up that chart again. Let's pull up that chart, Jamie. Just kidding. Let's see what this is. There we go. I found this thing, honestly. I found it at the start of the year. I thought they were like no match for Airbnb, but Airbnb took that huge dip while this one was consistent. Like you didn't have to worry about this investment. So actually, I might have to take another look at this one.
Yeah, I mean, Expedia is holding power, man. They've been around for like multiple decades at this point. So, I mean, they've been around. They've been around. Airbnb, I mean, they did have the lockout period, which really sank the stock a little bit because there was massive sell-offs, and then people are a little speculative because it's reopening play. But I think in the end, Airbnb is going to prove out, and like I said, they're the more popular one. So
yeah, they may have more users, which is more money.